Okay, so I'm recording this way early. I plan on at some point at near the end of 2026 to go over and make a video on all of the books that I've read this year. I'm currently on the third book in the Scythe series. I'm only... These pages don't have the page numbers. I gotta look back on the previous one. I'm only on page 137. And right here on page 137, in between every single chapter, they have these weird like excerpts from like random characters, like journals or life or whatever. So in the first book, it was a lot of excerpts from journals from characters that are known as Scythes. And the Scythes are supposed to keep journals, so the excerpts were there. In the second book, it was a lot of logs from the Thunderhead, which is like an all-powerful AI that runs the world. Anyone who's read this book, and I don't want to post this, so I should probably explain really quickly. This is a spoiler for the Scythe books. So if you're on Scythe or you're on Thunderhead or you're before this point in TheToll, don't listen. But what was really pissing me off, and is actually, this book started off great. This alone has brought this book down several levels for me. In this, it is, TheToll is referring to a character named Grayson Tolliver, who is the only one the Thunderhead talks to now, because everyone's overly reliant on the AI. And he is the only one the Thunderhead talks to. And so he's revered as like a god now, basically like Jesus. And there's this bit here that is being written by someone in the future talking about TheToll, sort of how like some historians talk about Jesus. And in this, he literally says, like, he talks about TheToll for a bit. He goes, the mention here of a bringer of death refers to supernatural demons called Scythes, who he redeemed from darkness. Like the tone itself, which is a reference to the Thunderhead, TheToll could not die, so a life sacrifice would always lead to TheToll's resurrection, making him unique among the people of his day. Brother, you just spoiled the end of the book. The Scythes aren't gone in present day. You just told me the Scythes are gone. You're telling me they don't know what the tone is, so the Thunderhead's dead. And then in the next bit, they literally describe that, as for the Deathbringer, there is evidence to suggest that such individuals did exist, supernatural or not, and that they were indeed called Scythes, reconfirming it. Therefore, it is not far-fetched to think that TheToll might have saved a Scythe from his or her evil ways. And in this instance, I do for once agree with Symphonius that TheToll was unique in the ability to return from death. Everyone can return from death in the books. They can't die. That's part of the problem that the Thunderhead's having, is that there's an immortality issue, and that it looks like people are just going to live forever. Continuing on. I do, for once, agree with Symphonius that TheToll was unique in its ability to return from death. For if everyone could return from death, why would we need TheToll at all? So you just spoiled to me on page 137, when I have this much of the book left, all the way to page, like, 600 something, that the Scythes are gone, the Thunderhead's dead, and people can die again. So now, even if the book doesn't jump to this point in the future, however it ends, I know that all three of those things are gone. I don't care that I don't know the details on how we get there. You just spoiled your own entire book. Like, you were at like a 9 out of 10, and now you're at like a freaking 5. Are we kidding? What are we doing? That is infuriating, dude. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I feel like I've wasted my time reading the book. I'm gonna try to finish it, but now, like, my experience has actually been ruined. Because, like, if that's not how it ends, then what's the point of these writings? Oh, goodness, dude. I'm just going to take a break. I only read literally 2 pages. Where I left off was 2 pages before that. So, it was more like 4 or 5. But point is that I'm extremely disappointed. I literally started another trilogy after reading the first Scythe book, and I needed to get into the Thunderhead book, which I had barely touched. Thunderhead was like pretty slow, but it was really good at the end. And so I was really excited to read TheToll, and now I'm upset And I kind of wish I had just stuck with frickin' Mistborn. That's Well of Ascension. I haven't gotten to Well of Ascension yet. I have the book. But I wish I had just stuck with Mistborn, dude. Don't spoil the future of your book in your book. Even if that's so far off that the book doesn't end that way, I don't care. You've implied it. That's how it's going to end up in the future. So somehow, in some way, the Scythes are going to be gone. The Toll is going to be some stupid religion that perpetuates beyond the book's timeline, and the Thunderhead's going to be dead, and people are going to die again. What a boring solution, by the way, to the problem of the like ever increasing mortality. Oh, let's just remove the thing that gives us immortality and that people die again. Wow, what a riveting conclusion. You can bring people back from the dead. The Thunderhead implies it can, like, make technology to read people's minds. It can reconstruct lost limbs. The only thing it can't bring back from the dead is if the body is burned or eaten or covered in, like, you know, acid that'll melt it or whatever, right? Like, if there's nothing for it to recover. Or if it's too damaged. And yet, they can't go to space. They can't expand into space. Maybe focusing on how they could do that would be interesting. Maybe that's what happens, and that's how they, like... But, like, if it's not, like, an expansion into space, if it's not that, then it's going to be... We just made people mortal again. I'm really upset. If that was supposed to be subtle where the reader couldn't figure it out, or they thought they would, like, skim over it, I don't know what you're doing, Neal Shusterman. I'm going to continue reading the book, and I'm going to trust that there's something that I've misunderstood. But I don't know if I did. Anyway, see ya.